Hey everyone, it's time to talk about movies. So, every year I make it a goal to try to see all of the movies that have been nominated for the Oscars.
Here's what we're doing. We're just going to talk about these movies very briefly without giving any sort of spoilers if you haven't seen it yet.
So instead of spoilers, we're going to give you fun facts and our thoughts. We've written down one word that is either how we feel about the movie or just a word that we thought represented the movie. So let's get started.
Oh.
There. Go ahead.
And we are going to rank them, not based on our predictions for the Oscars, but just whatever we liked.
One more thing, there are 9 nominations this year. We are going to order them in our discussion based on the order that we saw them in.
Mm-hmm.
And the first of the 9 nominees that we saw is Once Upon a Time in
Hollywood.
Hey.
Okay, so my word for this was classic.
Ooh, I like it.
What was your word?
I forgot. Oh, Justice.
Oh.
Fun facts. It was written and directed by Quentin Tarantino.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much a given if you've heard of this movie.
Right.
He came up with the ending of the movie first and then worked his way backwards in the plot. And that's the first time he ever wrote a script like that.
Just like in any Tarantino movie, there's references to his other movies. The set from Django Unchained appears in this movie. Obviously, we'll just put it down right now and then we'll start comparing everything to
I
it.
think I kind of want to start it at 6.
A 6 out of 10.
6 out of 9.
So, oh, okay, 6 out of 9.
I think it 1 through 9. So I'm gonna start it like here.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Next movie we saw was
yes, Jojo Rabbit.
I said, geez.
And I said hysterical.
Okay, see, I wanted to write something about the humor,
Yeah.
but then
I took care of it.
it's about the Holocaust and Nazis and stuff.
Which
and
is
there's-
no, it's not hysterical.
It's not hysterical.
But it can be.
It is hysterical, but also just geez.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. There's just different things with, the director of this movie was Taika Waititi, who's from New Zealand.
Mhm.
He plays Hitler in the movie.
But Taika wanted to give a big sort of middle finger to Hitler by playing him as a Jewish Maori person.
Is
He
it
thought
Maori? Maori?
Maori. Out of all the movies on this list, I think
It's
this
the
one
funniest.
it was the funniest. It made us laugh the most. If you saw Thor Ragnarok, that was directed by Taika, so that is the funniest, one of the funniest Marvel movies out there. So
Yeah.
it makes sense why there's so much humor in it.
I think I kind of want to start this at like number 2 or number 1 spot.
Wow, going big.
Going big because I love this movie not only because it has my name in the title and the main character's name is Jojo.
Her name is Rabbit. What?
Yeah, my name's
Yeah.
Rabbit. Rabbit from Mo.
That's right. I don't know yet. We'll find out. Let's put it up pretty high, and then we'll go from there.
Next up, we saw
Little Women.
which, before we get into the discussion about the movie, I'm named after the book Little Women. My name is Josephine. Yes, I go by Jojo, but it's Josephine, and I was born in March. My parents are clever.
My word was warmth.
Aww,
Yeah, what was your word?
endearing.
Aw,
It's
yeah.
just to feel good.
Yeah, we just sat there and we just basked in Greta Gerwig and Saoirse Ronan's goodness.
And the cinematography,
and everyone in it. Oh my
the
gosh.
costumes. If you believe it or not, the main 4 sisters in this movie are all played by non-American actresses.
Which is funny because this is like a quintessential American story. I would put it...
I would put it above Once Upon a Time.
I think I would put it above Once Upon a Time.
Next,
1917.
I wrote intense in all caps because holy moly.
I wrote astounding.
Okay, why'd you say
Yes.
astounding?
Astounding because the whole time I was watching it, I was amazed at what they were able to do with the cinematography, with the effects. It was just unbelievable. I didn't realize you had an inkling that it would be shot sort of in one take.
Yeah.
It's like a big
Yeah.
Rube Goldberg machine of amazing movie effects and everything. So
Yeah. So some fun facts for you about this movie. It was directed
directed.
by Sam Mendes, and it was inspired by stories that his grandfather would tell from World War I. And like we were saying, it's so astounding and made to look like one shot that they actually spent 6 months of rehearsal blocking everything out before they shot a single take.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Well, overall, I would say this movie for me, ranks definitely above Little Women and Once Upon a Time.
I would agree.
Even though it's Jojo and 1917 are both about wars, they take such different angles on it that it's hard for me to put one over the other.
So different.
So can we put them sort of side by side right now?
Yeah,
Okay.
we can stack them. So these last ones were the last 5
We
saw
went
within
hard.
the last week.
Yeah.
Next
Okay.
film, Joker.
Whew, this one. All right, what did you write?
I think I went first last time.
All right, I wrote haunting.
I wrote heartbreaking.
Yes, I almost wrote heartbreaking. So I think we both agree that this was a hard movie to sit through.
I couldn't.
Joe
handle
almost
it.
left the theater after about 20 minutes.
I would say too, there was a lot of sad movies in this bunch. This was the saddest one. Todd Phillips, the director,
Yeah.
was responsible for the Hangover movies.
Yeah, weird jump there.
Moviegoers are tending to watch a lot of superhero movies, so he knew that an audience would go if it was a DC movie. So he wanted to then kind of sneak in this.
Come for the Joker, stay for the drama and
Yeah.
the tragedy, yeah. The music in this
Oh my gosh.
was very gripping.
I also learned
Yeah.
that the composer, I think she's from Iceland, they wrote the music before the movie was shot. So
She wrote it for the movie though.
she wrote it after reading the script.
Oh wow, okay.
For the ranking, honestly, I think that it kind of belongs right after 1917 or Jojo Rabbit.
It's so hard because like Little Women, you're like, oh, it's just like it's hard, you know, despite there being tragedy in Little Women, like this takes tragedy to a whole new level, and it's hard for me to rank it above like Little Women.
We can rank it right below Little Women.
No, I think it should go above Little Women.
You think it should go above?
I think it's better than Little Women as a movie, which I feel bad saying, but
It was better at twisting your emotions.
Marriage Story.
Is it a marriage story? A marriage story.
A story of a marriage.
Marriage.
Okay.
Okay, I said personal.
Oh, I said bittersweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said personal because Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson's characters in this movie are just really raw and vulnerable. You see them fight, you see them at their worst, you see their mistakes. It was directed by Noah Baumbach.
Sure.
Baumbach.
Bambeck.
And it was based on his divorce in real life because he was married to an actress.
It seems like sort of like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. If you are like a Hollywood person, you're gonna appreciate some of these facets of this movie because you have these characters who have to balance their projects at work with their personal lives, and I feel like movie people relate to that more than the average Joe. But
Well, you can tell.
average Joe,
That's me.
you're more than average.
Well, thanks. You can definitely tell it's written by someone super
Yes.
familiar with show
Yep.
business. You know, we're not
Yeah.
familiar with that, but
Yeah.
it seems like that he knew what he was talking about.
All right, so ranking.
I think it goes here.
Okay, so you're saying between or
Once
like
Upon a Time.
Once Upon a Time and Little Women.
If you look at the risks taken with cinematography and blocking and overall emotion I felt during watching
Sure.
it, I feel like those belong up there. Jojo
Sure.
Rabbit, 1917.
I think you're
Joker
right.
and Little Women in the middle.
I think I agree. Let's put Marriage Story above Once Upon a Time, below Little Women. So we have 3 more movies to go. We watched all these in the past 24 hours, which is nuts.
But worth it.
For The Irishman, I wrote Bloated.
Oh, interesting.
What did you say?
Meh.
Yeah. So we actually watched The Irishman in
2 different nights.
2 nights. The first night, we watched the first half, and I think we were both surprised by how much we were digging it. And then the second night, it kind of just lost us. It just left me feeling like, okay, like I get it. Let's move on to the next scene. And it was just still going and going and going. They kind of go throughout long stretches of history, so you see different decades, and the cinematographer wanted to make sure each decade looked distinct in style, sort of like a 60s movie being shot here, a 70s movie here. And so you get kind of nice back and forth between the past and his life and then the present where he's telling the story. I also found out Joe Pesci turned down this role 50 times from Martin basically begging him to come out of retirement.
Can you imagine being that good of an actor that you were asked the 51st time, you're like, fine, sure.
So, okay, Joe's putting it dead last right now.
I definitely don't think it's better than Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Because I feel like you're going to have your Scorsese fans and your Tarantino fans.
But are you a Scorsese fan?
Well, I also didn't grow up with, like, Goodfellas.
Neither
and
did
all these
I.
classic-
That's why it's
Okay,
last.
well, put it last!
It was a good movie.
It was.
But of the 9,
It was not exciting. Okay. Ford versus Ferrari. What is the word that you wrote for this movie?
Surpass. Because. Oh.
Thrilling.
Okay.
Explain.
Surpass because it's a movie about racing and I was being clever, but also it's surpassed my expectations.
Sure. It's sort of like, oh, I've kind of seen movies like this before.
This formula,
yeah.
one, has worked
waiting
before.
for that. Yeah.
It was directed by James Mangold, and one of the main reasons that Matt Damon was in this movie is because he wanted to work with Christian Bale. That's it.
Who wouldn't want to?
Yeah. And I will say about that, I leaned over to Carter while we were watching it, and I said, I don't think I've seen a movie where Christian Bale is actually British.
I think the only other thing we'll say about this movie is it's very well done, even if you're not a racing fan, like we're not really racing fans, but you can still appreciate it, and it feels very thrilling and powerful.
Yeah,
thrilling. Although we were a little put off by how they handled the ending of the story, because it's based on a true story, and you kind of wanted them to end the movie 10 minutes before they did, and then they didn't. They kept going a little bit more.
I left disappointed, which I didn't want to feel.
Yeah, we were like so into it.
Yeah.
And then the ending, and we were like, oh, come on. I would put it lowish.
Lowish. I think it was either...
It's either better or worse than Once Upon a Time.
Yeah.
I'm going to say worse.
I'm going to say worse.
Okay. The last movie that we have to talk about and that we saw a few hours ago, my word was unique.
I said, whoa.
Yeah, that's fair.
Look at me. Whoa.
You heard it here. It doesn't hammer you with any sort of message, but it just kind of presents a really wild situation and how things can get out of hand. So
there is a clear fulcrum in the middle of the plot of this is the first half of the movie, something happens, there's a clear second part to that movie. Ranking.
Whoa.
Where should we put it in regard to Joker? Let's start there. I would say better.
You'd say better than Joker? Okay. Well, that's the thing. I'm like, I think it's better than Joker as well. Yeah, okay.
We agree.
Okay, sorry. I was going to say, but no, okay.
So for the rankings, let's go through places 9 through 3, and then let's decide 1 and 2 at the end.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Ninth place, Irishman.
Yeah.
Yeah, Irishman.
8th place, Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah.
7th place, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which honestly I thought would end up higher.
Yeah.
But
I also think it's less fresh in our minds, so that's probably played a little factor into it.
Maybe.
In 6th place, we have Marriage Story. 5th place, Little Women.
4th place,
4th place,
Joker. Which, that's about where I thought it would be.
3rd place, Parasite. We need to make a decision. Did we like Jojo Rabbit better, or did we like 1917 better? Pick some.
Okay, let's pick some points, like directing, acting, cinematography, and compare them, and then see if there's a winner.
Sure.
Okay, acting.
1917 wins for me, hands down.
But is anyone nominated from 1917 for acting?
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay. So we disagree on that then.
Okay, so you think acting goes to Jojo?
Yes.
Okay, I feel like 1917 was more compelling in that way.
It was more compelling.
Yeah, but I feel like Jojo Rabbit did a better job of hitting all the different, this huge range of emotions, from laughing out loud in the theater to like crying to just, everything. So
what about cinematography?
1917.
Okay. Costumes.
Do you agree?
No, I agree.
Okay. Everyone had the same costume in 1917.
Okay. But Jojo Rabbit, they had to get kind of creative with some of those costumes. And the colors. Think about like the colors that the women were wearing.
Sure.
I'd say Jojo Rabbit on costumes.
Yeah. Rewatchability factor? What would you
Jojo
say?
Rabbit.
I think so.
I don't ever want to see 1917 again.
A little too intense, yeah. It was amazing.
Yeah, but I'm good. I saw it.
I'm sensing from you that you would put Jojo first, and I think
I would. But I think 1917's gonna win.
I agree. I think 1917's gonna win, but personally, we vibed more with Jojo. So I think
we jive
you
with Jojo?
are.
I won the Oscar?
You won the Oscar.
Yes.
Congratulations. If you haven't seen any of these movies and you're looking to, we would highly recommend Jojo Rabbit.
Actually, we'd highly recommend any of them, but...
Not The Irishman.
Okay, we'd highly recommend all of them, but The Irishman.
Or Joker if you're faint of heart. Can I just point something out? So Joe does not like needles or stabby things in any sense. I feel like every one of these movies had stab stuff in it.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Jojo Rabbit, because I remember in every movie you would always go,
yes, Joker,
ooh,
yes.
and then I would be like,
Does Little Women, did someone get stabbed in Little Women? I don't think that, okay, Marriage Story, yes. Once Upon a, yes. Ford vs. Ferrari, no. Irishman, yes. So, okay, 2 of the 9 don't have a knife involved.
If you saw any of these movies, we hoped that you enjoyed them. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, let us know what you think, because this is just what we think. So if you completely disagree, that's great. We love it. Bring it on.
Give us your rankings, yeah.
Yeah, you should give us your rankings. Or even just rank the ones that you saw. Or tell us about the one you did see. Or didn't see, or wanted to see. Well, thanks for watching. I have some...
And as always...
Grab some popcorn.
And as always...
Wait, and as always... Oh.